Hi guys, I'm Kristen. Welcome and welcome back. For the month of September, you get to pick the next novella that I read. So by the time you are seeing this, you know that in the month of September, I'm going to have a newborn baby with me at home, and I don't really know what to expect out of that in all of the possible ways that my life will change, including reading and filming. So I am obviously pre-filming this, and I thought for the month of September, because I do want to keep up this video series, I thought it would be a good idea for my Pick My Next book to be a novella, something short and sweet that I will probably be able to squeeze in at some point over the course of the month. Bonus points if the book you pick has a really great audiobook, because I have been led to believe that audiobooks are going to be my life for the next little while. Just a note on lighting before we jump into the books that you can pick from, but it is a dark, dreary day, so the lighting is a little bit different than usual, but I think it'll be okay. I'm sitting like right in front of my window. So let's jump into the books. Don't forget down below to comment the book that you want me to read. Bonus points if you know that it has a really great audiobook, you can let me know that. As well, if you don't want to make a full comment, you can just give the emoji or comment the emoji down below for each book. I have 4 novellas here to choose from, 2 of which are actually new releases from this current year and 2 are previous backlist releases that I think are both popular and underrated. I'm going to start with a heavy hitter right out of the gate. Book number 1 here, or novella number 1 that you can choose from, is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. This is, of course, the first book novella in the Murderbot Diaries series. Is that what it's called? Yes, Murderbot Diaries. I have Goodreads right in front of me. I don't know why I hesitated on that without looking first. So I have not read any Murderbot books before, any of the novellas, not the full story novels, whatever. But of course, I don't live under a rock and I have heard people talk about these books. I have always been curious, but it's never been a priority for me to pick them up. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to try out one of the novellas. So I'll obviously starting with the first one. Now, from what I know, the Murderbot Diaries of the series follows a robot, like an AI kind of type robot who has hacked their own system and has sort of like taken control of their own software. And they are like a security robot, whatever, who provide like security for various companies or details or whatever. And really all they want to do is sit around and watch their like telenovelas or something like that. And everyone talks about that. And I think that over the course of the series, over the course of the book, they get like swept into helping other people and doing good things and whatever. But they call themselves Murderbot, which is where the name of the series comes from. That's really all I know. I know that people love it. I know that when it was like super hyped when they first started coming out, that then there were some readers who were like not thrilled with the results sort of thing. So I'm going into this like with like moderate expectations. I don't expect it to be a life-changing novella for me. And just know that it could be really great, and also it could be, you know, it could be fine for me because I know that not everyone loves it. I just looked on the Goodreads page and it has like a quote at the top: "As a heartless killing machine, I was a complete failure." That's kind of fun. I'm intrigued. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out if you pick this one for me. I suspect this would have a good audiobook, so you can let me know if that would be the case. Oh, and the emoji for this one, if you don't want to leave a full comment, you just want to put the emoji down below, do a robot emoji. Since that was one of the backlist novellas, we're going to go with one of the new releases next, and that is The Lies of Ajungo by Moses Oz Utomi. And this came out earlier this year, I believe in March. Yes, that's what it says. Very short novella. It is in a desert setting where within the city, they just basically have like no water, and they have to either buy water or they have like a deal with an outside empire or city or state or whatever, but they have a deal with an outside source to get water. But at the age of 13, all of the kids have to cut off their tongues. Like, that's the exchange for whatever reason. In order to avoid having their tongue cut off, I believe a lot of the kids before reaching the age of 13 go out into the desert to see if they can find water. Usually, or always, they never return. And in this very short novella, we are following a main character who is about to turn 13 and embarks on this journey. I think there's a little bit of like conspiracy? What have we really been told about the world? Like, what do we know that is true? That kind of a thing. I have heard pretty good things about this so far this year, so I'm looking forward to potentially getting to that. The emoji for this one, if you want to comment just an emoji, would be, let's go with like the cactus or the camel. Either one, you choose. But something desert themed. Back to another backlist novella, and this one is going to be Ogres by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is one of Sarah from Bright and Bookish. It's one of their favorite books or novellas, and every time they talk about it, it makes me really, really interested, and I want to pick it up. Despite that, I don't actually know all that much about it, so I'm going to read the synopsis on this one. I have actually never read an Adrian Tchaikovsky book, so this could be my first ever Adrian Tchaikovsky. So, it's always idyllic in the village until the landlord comes to call. Because the landlord is an ogre, and ogres rule the world with their size and strength and appetites. It's always been that way. It's the natural order of the world, and they only eat people sometimes. But when the headman's son, Torkel, dares lift his hand against the landlord's son, he sets himself on a path to learn the terrible truth about the ogres and about the dark sciences that ensured their rule. I believe this is second person perspective as well, which can really work for me if it is done well, and I've heard from Sarah that that is the case in this book. They rave about it all the time. The cover is like very fun. It's really outside of what I would normally pick up, but I am very curious to potentially pick this one up. The emoji for this one, let's go with the top hat, since the ogre in question on the cover appears to be wearing a top hat, so let's go with that for this one. And then finally, another new release from this year, the fourth novella to choose from is going to be Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. I would say from what I have seen so far this year with people reading this novella, which is obviously from the same author from the Greenbone Saga, that people are either like really, really loving it, or they're finding it just okay, like kind of like nothing new. I think people went into this expecting something closer to Greenbone Saga, even though the synopsis does not set up like that at all. But I think people had like Greenbone Saga level expectations here, and it wasn't quite what was delivered. However, people are raving about the world and the setting in this book. So we are following a main character whose mother was killed by a manticore as a child. This is set in a like seemingly classic fantasy kind of a setting. They want to become like a rock hunter or something like that, where it's like they are bonded or they train these giant rocks to help hunt the manticores. And so it's following their journey on that, like becoming like getting accepted, I'm assuming, into the Royal Muse, becoming this rock trainer, training up a rock, which is like a creature that doesn't bond with you. It's not like a classic animal companion that has like this like, you know, tethered bond with you. It's more about taming a creature that isn't really meant to be tamed and that is never going to care about you the way that you care about them. I feel like that's kind of the gist from what I have been hearing. So yeah, that is all that I know about that book, I think, or that novella. I think that that's all you need to know going into this. People seem to be loving the world, and if you go in not expecting Greenbone Saga, I think you could have a really good time with this. So those are the, oh, and for this one, we'll just go with a bird emoji. Any bird emoji will do to vote for this one if you just want to leave an emoji and not a full comment. So those are the 4 novellas that you get to choose from. Just wait, there is another one. I totally forgot. I always included this one in my head when I was thinking about this list, but I guess I forgot to write it down and totally forgot and thought about it after the fact. The 5th option here for the novella is A Dead Djinn in Cairo by P. Djeli Clark. This will be my first P. Djeli Clark book ever. I'm pretty sure this is the first novella in the Dead Djinn universe. I am pretty sure there was a full-length novel that came out, if not last year, the year before. So this is set in early 20th century alternate universe Cairo, and we are with a detective who is supposed to solve a murder involving a dead Djinn, as in the title. And this is a world where there are otherworldly, potentially divine beings as well, like mixed in with the mortals. And as I said, I think this is like a buddy cop detective kind of a story, or a novella where where our original detective is being paired up for the first time with a partner and is investigating the death of a genie. So I have always been actually interested in reading the novel, but I thought I would start with the novella first So if you'd like me to read that in September, you can vote for a dead Djinn in Cairo, and the emoji for this one is going to be the genie. I'll go through them once more with the possible emojis. The first option was All Systems Red, and that one you can comment a robot. Then it was The Lies of Ajungo, and you can comment something desert themed, either the cactus or the camel on that one. Then we had Ogres by Adrian Tchaikovsky for the top hat is the emoji on that one. And then finally, Untethered Sky. Any of the bird emojis will do for that one. So I look forward to seeing what you guys pick. Again, let me know if any of these have a particularly good audiobook, and I can't wait to see what one is the winner and to get to that hopefully over the course at some point in September. Thanks guys, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.